we got a message about another junk removal job, and then I've got a deck to go and stain. And then tomorrow I may have a tree job with Steve. I'm not sure. He's waiting to see if he gets that job or not. He's supposed to let me know this evening about it. But it's just cutting up a tree and removing it and the limbs and stuff. So a hackberry it looked like. But right now, anyways, we've got a junk removal to go and look at. The guy has a big greenhouse and some other stuff, and so right now I'm just going to stop and look at it to see, you know, maybe give him a price on it and see if I get this job. So we're heading there now, and should be there soon. He just sent me his address. All right, we're on our way to the scrapyard right now, which is just probably about 5 minutes from home. So I don't have a whole big load of metal either. It's not gonna be a lot of money, but it's just extra stuff that I've got from some junk removal jobs and stuff like that, and some stuff that I really needed to get rid of anyways to clean up. That's just been sitting around, so we're taking that on. I've got a deck to stain, well, to seal, to put some sealer on. And then I just bid a junk removal job earlier, $500, that got approved. And I may be getting some landscaping through that as well. And through him, his neighbor also, he texted me earlier and said that his neighbor had some stuff he wanted me to haul off. So that works out really good. So that's making me really want to try to get me a dump trailer in the future. I'm really debating that because more so for junk removal than for firewood, which it would be handy with firewood, you know, in certain places. But some places I've been in, I wouldn't want a dump trailer behind me. But anyways, it would be very handy for junk removal. So we'll see how that goes and everything. But anyways, been pretty busy with work here lately and been getting some pretty good paying jobs too. So I'm very thankful for that. Praise the Lord for that. So we're heading to the scrapyard now, and I may kind of tell you what I got. This ain't gonna be a lot at all, but it just, like I've got my trailer behind me, but it's not a lot of heavy stuff. And it's just, the prices on scrap are down right now as well. I think right now it was saying 130, 140 a ton, which is pretty low. A ton's 2,000 pounds. So anyways, I get a lot of scrap from junk removal jobs and stuff though. So, and then from other jobs I've done through the past, so I pile it up, and once I get quite a bit, I'll take it. Like I said, it's only about 5 minutes down the road, so that helps me a lot. Get out if you want now. Get out. Uh-huh. Look at that little shack.
Probably where they keep their drinks.
Yeah. Little trailer. Back there. There we go, getting on the scale now. Grand total of 35 bucks, so not much at all, which we only had 540 pounds, so that's why. But that helps, every little bit helps. That's stuff I've got for free, you know, or from jobs, and this is right down the road. Usually though, I'll let it accumulate, and I'll bring a lot, and I'll get around, did I get the key up? I'll get around sometimes $200 a load and stuff like that. And if you get copper and stuff like that, of course. But I usually, it's usually just the metal that I bring. I usually don't fool with going through it and everything, which if you did, it'd be worth a lot more. So just deal with the shred steel, so I get a lot of weight. But there, I knew that wasn't much. I actually had a little more than I thought I did. Man, prices are down right now as well. But like I said, a lot of times I'll let it pile up and I'll get about $150, $200 out of a load instead. So. How is it?
This wasn't.
Huh?
What are we doing after this?
All right. Got some of them pallets spread out there. What I did was kind of just worked around the wood that was on the ground. So I can just get the wood that's on the ground and throw it on the pallets. And then I can fill this back in with pallets. But that's about as far as I'm going to come this way. Right there. Because I got a burn pile back behind me here. But so I'm going to go pretty much from there down to that one there, and then that way. And so I used most of my pallets just now. This is a lot of shorter stuff, but I actually have customers that request this stuff sometimes. Like this is all good white oak debarked. This is kind of a big chunk right here. There's probably like standard piece of firewood right there, I would say. But that's white oak. Thing is, that right there is probably 10 inches, 12 inches, something like that. That one same. Some are even shorter than that. Like That one, you know, maybe 8 inches right here on this side. This side is longer, but it's all really good wood. So it's all good quality white oak, solid. It's not rotten. Most of this stuff here is like that. As you can see, there's some big chunks here and there that I plan to split up. There's some that aren't even split yet. Most of it is though. Most is split. They're just pieces here and there that aren't, and I can hit them with my Axo Fiskars over there, Excalibur, or Sheriff Adler, either one, and I can knock them down and make them firewood pieces. But that's all the smaller stuff for the most part. There's a big one actually right there. But now all the walnut there is probably, I would guess, around 18 inches cut around that black walnut. This white oak there, I tried to go through it and organize it. It's actually longer as well. This one, I'm not sure that I'm going to keep it here. I just had one that was like that. It's really more, well, and then that pallet actually went out further, but this is the only one that I have that's that wide. And then I was going to go, you know, that way with it. I got a bunch of stuff to burn there. I'm not going to show you, it's such a big pile, but I may be doing that tonight. But that's as far as I want it to go up the driveway too. That way, you know, I can take off of those pallets once they're loaded. And once I clear those off, all I got to do is remove 2 rows of pallets, 2 rows, and then I can back my truck in there. So if it's those 2 right there and I need to get to wood right here, I can remove those 2 and then back into there. And I can do that all the way back to here. And I'm going to have it going like that down that way. All of that needs to come off the ground. All of that is mixed wood. And what I did over there, you got to be careful how you step on these, especially when you're heavier. I'm around 240 right now. We're down to 234, but I'm 239, I think, when I weighed this morning. So I'm going to probably try to get a little stricter on that diet. Because I was cheating a little too much, really. But anyways, I'm still around 42 pounds down, but I'd like 43 pounds down, but I'd like to get down to probably about 225, 230. So I put some pallets over there and went up that way with them as well. But like I said, all of this is on the ground. So that's a lot of wood here. I would say every bit of a full cord of wood, possibly even more. And then I've got this black walnut here. I've got that there, this, that. So, and I sewed a cord the other day. There's a bunch of brush from that heel that I did. I'm actually getting a chipper to finish that off though. That's one trailer load. So that's a lot. I cut down probably 2,000 trees like that. Somebody was calling it sumac, I think. So that may be what that is, sumac. Yeah, it would take about 5 loads of that. So I told him I was going to get a chipper and plan to come back. So I am going to be planning to be investing in one of them. I got a big $500 junk removal job to do this weekend, Saturday. And then his neighbor had some stuff that he wanted me to haul off as well. These pallets are really small here and they kind of throw everything off. So I'm kind of just keeping them to the side. I may use them to build a wall. This is going to come out. I'm going to have to get the T-post out and that. And it's going to keep going that way. All the way down to, like I said before, about where that bicycle is. And I'm guessing I can fit around 50 full cords in here. That's heaped up, you know, though. But I think I can fit around 50 full cords of wood in here, heaped up. And then I've got all the backyard too that I can use.
Wind that hot stuff up, is it?
All right, we're heading on to the stave mill now. It's Saturday again, so it's laid back on the weekends there. And not only on the weekends, but I think during the warmer months, you know, a lot of people aren't in there. So we're planning to get another full cord just whenever, you know, I'm down in between work. I'm wanting to keep piling the wood up, and I'm really wanting to ramp it up, like I've said, you know. And intend to continue piling it up. But I've not got a whole lot a whole lot more wood since the last time you all seen the Woodyard or anything. I don't even know if I've got any more because I've been doing other things as well, like the junk removal for one thing. And I had a big job fall through. I was very disappointed with that one. It was a $500 job I was supposed to do today, and the guy contacted me yesterday, and I kind of knew something was going on by his reply because we had already planned for Saturday morning. But then he contacted me and he said something about, you know, this was Friday, because I was reaching out to check and, you know, see what time he wanted me to be there. And he said, well, I'll get a hold of you this evening and we'll plan from there. And I was kind of thinking, what do you mean plan from there? We're already planning for tomorrow morning. I just need a time. So anyways, he kind of made me suspicious, the reply. And then he replied that night, and he said, hey, when we got back home, we were out of town. When we got back home, the guy that had initially gave us the first bid, because some guy gave him a bid for $150 to remove, which was a lot of stuff to remove for that price. And he said that him and his wife didn't take it very serious because of how low it was. But I guess there was a greenhouse there, and I was actually going to keep that greenhouse. And I guess the guy came and got the greenhouse, came and got that, but he left pretty much everything else the way he made it sound. So I don't know if, I'm not calling the guy a liar, he may be telling the truth, but he said the guy never even got the money from him, and then the guy, he can't get the guy on the phone. So he didn't know whether I should come today or not, because he didn't want me and that guy to show up. And I told him, I said, so did that guy not reach out to you before he just showed up randomly? The whole thing seems suspicious to me. I don't know if he changed his mind about the price, because he told me, you know, let me talk to my wife about it. And then about 15 minutes later, he said, hey, my wife said, go ahead. So I don't know if he changed his mind on the price or what, but something happened, and he may be being honest, you know, maybe that guy really did show up like that. And maybe he really did show up and get the greenhouse and left a lot of the other stuff. But anyways, I was supposed to get a job through him and his neighbor, and it ended up falling through because of all that. Today is what that was supposed to happen. So instead, I'm going to the Stave mill and getting some wood. But that would have been around probably $550, $600 for today. That would have been a good day. And hauling off junk removal. That's why I really love junk removal. I've done it for years now, and I love it. I love junk removal. I resell a lot of things too, and I love firewood, and they work well together. And I said I was going to try roofing, and I have been, but I'll be honest, I'm almost just ready to just quit with that, honestly. I don't even have a desire to keep pursuing that. You got to make a choice sometimes, you know. I've shown you all kinds of things I've done. Junk removal, I've shown you clips of it, you know, through the years. Because I've done it through the years now. And I've shown you firewood and other things I've done, but I really enjoy junk removal. I would like to get probably a dump trailer for junk removal, because they're almost like big dumpsters, and you can rent them out. So I wouldn't mind having, you know, 2 or 3 of them in the future, maybe even more than that. So I could do dumpster rental and junk removal and firewood, you know. It would work good for all of that, but I definitely would need a heavier duty truck in the future, and I'm planning to get a bigger one. I'd really like to get a F-250. Diesel or gas, you know. I don't want a V10 though. I seen those are supposed to be really bad on gas, so I'd really rather not have a V10. But I seen one the other day. The same guy that I bought this truck from here had one for sale. It was an F-250, I think a 2013, and I think it had an 8-foot bed on it, and it was a nice looking truck. I think it had a 6.2 or something it was saying in it. I may be wrong, but anyways, I don't want one that's too bad on gas either though, because you do a lot of driving in this stuff. So I want something that pulls good and that's heavier duty, shocks and everything. Like this truck right here is plenty powerful enough to pull a full cord of wood, no doubt. I've pulled full cords of wood with a 6-cylinder many times. So this truck is no doubt heavy duty enough for that. It just, once you get like a dump trailer back there on the bumper, this truck is going to squat a lot more than a 3/4 ton or a 1 ton, because the shocks and everything just aren't made for that kind of weight. But as far as pulling goes, it'll pull it. But anyways, that's my plans. I really enjoy junk removal, and firewood I love as well. So I'm planning to continue piling the wood up, but I'm doing that periodically in between everything. And now as it gets closer, if I'm not close enough to my goal, I'll start making, I'm planning to start making more trips per week, so that I can try to meet the goal of the amount of wood that I want, 50 cords, you know, and that's a minimum. But anyways, we're heading there now, and once we get there, I'll update. It should be pretty laid back. There should be a lot of people there today, and Carter's going to do some splitting as well today. It's not as hot, I don't think, today as the last time, which is probably close. But this past week has been miserable to work in, really. I can work in it, and I will, but I definitely take breaks in it and stuff. But it's the kind of heat that, man, it's just the air itself. It's not just the heat, it's the humidity as well. The air itself is just hot. I I got a text this morning that said Bluegrass Outdoors, and it had a question mark, and it was a man named Nathan, and he's here in Kentucky as well. And so I guess he's seen me and Bucking on YouTube, and he was saying he built axes. He sent me a picture of some stuff that he got earlier from a flea market. It looked like he got some good double bits and some good vise and some other stuff. And looks like he has a good shop too. But anyways, he's wanting to get together sometime and split, and said he'd love to meet me and Bucking and split with us. And one day I was supposed to split with him, and I'd like to go to Canada someday and split some of that fur too. Though I really would. I'd love to go to Canada just to see Canada. So one day, Lord willing, I'm planning to split some of that Douglas fir and some of the other woods up there too. I want to experience those woods and see what it's like. But fir is one that I want to split more than anything else, really. Douglas fir. I've never split it, so I'm really wanting to try it out. And but anyways, Nathan, he's talking about maybe going to Bunyan this year, and Steve was wanting to go as well. I'm not positive if I'll be going or not, but it does look like an interesting event and everything. And Log Ox, the people that I think they go there, I've been talking to a man named Austin here recently in email with Log Ox, and I'm supposed to be doing a review on one of their forestry packages, and they're very handy tools. And how I know that is because I've used them. But anyways, I'll plan to do a thorough review on that once I get it, Lord willing. And they're the ones that also collaborated with Timberwolf and made the Timber Ox Summit, which is a log splitter that Steve uses, and it's a very good splitter, a very fast splitter, a very big table, a very powerful splitter. I really like it myself. So anyways, I'll plan to kind of show that in the future. And I got this from Steve because Steve had purchased some of their equipment already, and he's got like their hats and stuff like that. They're made in America, all their stuff, so I thought that was pretty cool. But anyways, I'm always happy to, you know, if I'm going to promote something, it's because I think it's good, and I do think their equipment is good. I like that's made in the USA. Not that I'm against things that are made in other places either, but I like supporting, you know, local places as well a lot. And I found that a lot of things that are made in USA are well-made things. So anyways, I'll plan to show some more of that in the future, and maybe even when we get up here, because Steve gave me one forestry package from them, and I think it has just about all the pieces to it, and they're supposed to be sending me one as well. But either way, I could show you, you know, with the one that I've got, the things that it can do. I pulled some big fence posts with it the other day, and it did great. So it's a very handy tool if you're in the firewood business or working with trees or anything like that. The Log Ox is a very handy tool, and I'll kind of show you that. The forestry tool, I'll show you that later, Lord willing, when we get to the stave mill. Probably. Carter in to get the gas. He's a growing boy. Look on that window. Beautiful day. I'm in Owingsville, Kentucky is where I'm at here. So this is pretty close to the stave mill. It's the next county up, which is I don't even know what you'd call that county. I know it's Moorhead, Kentucky, but I don't know the name of the county. Pump that gas, boy.
You want me to pump it?
Pump it.
Okay.
I ain't paying you. I ain't paying you to sit around.
You ain't paying me nothing.
Exactly.
That was your 87?
Yeah,
Okay.
the cheap one. We're po' boys. We don't get that other stuff. Don't you ever push another button besides 87?
So I think it's done.
Thank thank God for another day. Me and Carter's almost here to the stave mill. I'm excited about firewood season this year. Very excited about it. And the junk removal, I love it too. I've always liked it, and I've always seen the potential in that, the junk removal. So, and I was watching another young man on YouTube and seeing him do it and seeing how he's grown in it's inspired me even more, honestly. So, well, yeah. Hopefully we've got this to ourselves today, man. It's not that I'm against other people being here. I'm not. But when I'm coming in here and trying to get a lot of wood, it's nice to have it to yourself every now and then too. So here we are, and it looks empty.
It looks like there's more wood than last time.
Oh man, I love it here at this stave mill. I hope this thing lasts for many years. Look at this.
Trying to spray them
Look
more
at
in the
that.
summer. You know what, dude?
Yeah, they're spraying them right now.
I say
See
that
that big sprayer over there spraying them?
they probably do that a lot more in the summer where it's hot.
See that? What a blessing this stave mill is. And other people on YouTube and trying to get wood here and there, and I've done it myself for years, and the best thing I've ever had besides this stave mill is the best by far, but the best I've ever had before that was logged out land, which was great as well, because you can go in there with a saw and buck it up, split it, and load it. So it's great as well. But this stave mill, it's already cut, it's debarked, and it's white oak, and there's such a huge supply of it. So I mean, I know that other guys, I've seen some guys that pay for wood, pay for logs and everything, you know, so I know that this is a huge blessing for me and many others. So anyways, Carter, you want to... Oh, I love this stave mill. Look what they're doing now. They're putting the wood down that way. Here's where they normally put it. I didn't even see that. Carter's seen it. They're putting it over that way now too. Look at that. Down there. There's a bunch of wood down there. So I guess that's what they're resorting to now. I mean, what choice do they have if they'll get filled up? I'm about to take a trailer load, Lord willing. We're going to split it again, Lord's will. It's Saturday, so it's laid back. So, I mean, I really like that about it. You see that aisle's empty, and then here's the wood. I'm gonna give you a better view of the wood up here. I'm gonna get a look myself, and I'm gonna put this to use too a little bit. This is that log ox forestry tool. So it's really neat. Steve gave me that. There's supposed to be sending me one. I don't know for sure. I spoke to Austin about it, but you see there, it's got that handle and it's got that little hook. Now I think mine needs to be sharpened. That's what Steve was saying, and I think I could tell that as well. This hook here. I think I need to sharpen this, but I'm not positive. But it's very handy, this is, for when you're going up to wood, you know, lifting it. You've got to get the right size round and stuff, but like this one here of Carter's, if you grabbed it a certain way, it would work. Let's see if I can get it. But now, like that way, I don't think it would. This way, it's too big. Well, actually, never mind.
Barely gripping it.
Yeah, it's got it. So it actually holds it like that. But that's handy. And I'll kind of show you that a little bit. And I've got the handle that goes on it and everything, and some other parts to it. Very handy tool. Steve gave me that. Very kind of Steve. Here's another hot one. I would say it's probably about the same as it was last time. He's putting his sunscreen on right now. My wife's always telling him to put that on. But so anyways, look at that. That is cool. It's soaking those logs. Somebody knows how to stripe. Lawn care service. This what we're doing here. So you see here, there's the wood right there. Nobody's here. It's extremely hot today. This is all right in the sun. Very hot. So we got to be careful. We got plenty to drink with us and everything, but you still got to keep your body temperature down. Carter comes out here and does this with me. But as you see here, there's shade from these staves right here. Reminds me of a part in the Bible with Jonah and the well. That's what I was just telling Carter, and he knew the story too. And I was going to talk about that a little bit. But so yeah, as you can see, we got us some rounds, and I put them right there in the shade. And that may not seem like a big deal, but in this kind of work, when you're doing it throughout the day, it'll make the difference whether you last or not. It can anyways. But as you see, we've got some shade right there to bring our body temperature down every now and then, take a break and rest. I could have came this evening and done it, probably would have been smarter too, but we'll take our time and we'll drink plenty and stuff. It's in the 80s today. I don't know, probably mid to high 80s. And the sun, though, being right in it really gets you, and then exerting a lot of energy. I do got that picker-room part.
Well, we didn't bring any kind of box.
Oh, we didn't bring it? See, that's handy.
Like you said, it saves your back.
Yeah. You can drag them too if they're real heavy. See, you don't got to bend over and do it though. So
yeah,
that is very handy. And this one actually needs sharpened a little.
Yeah, that works good.
Yep.
Using the hole to his advantage.
I mean, not having to bend down definitely can help your back.
Yeah.
Imagine doing this. Look, you can drag them just fine.
Yeah, it helps you grip it.
You need some more leverage. You got a handle too, so.
Yeah. It helps gripping it too, so drag it.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to do that without that thing. There's a good one under there. See it right there?
Yeah. What you say?
It is pretty and it's also hot today.
It's very hot.
And very pretty. Well, Bob.
What's your side? That definitely makes that easier.
It's a lot easier than what you did before.
Oh yeah. A picker room's good too for that, but this is very handy for not having to bend down. It really is.
That's better for like things that's on the ground. A picker room is good for like things that are up above you, right?
Well, it's good for many things. I like a picker room like getting it out of the truck bed.
Yeah. And
that's what I like it for personally. All right, so we've got 11 rounds here. Now some of them that I'm doing this time are going to be bigger though, and some aren't. That one's pretty big. That's a big one. It's got a lot of wood in it. That's a big one. I'm going to get that one out and do it too. Lord willing, that one I'm going to do too. And that one. So quite a bit of big ones here. And if you know how to break them down, and you can get a lot of wood out of these things. I'll get this one too, Lord willing. All right, so you ready, Carter? Let's go ahead and get you a little bit. See how Carter looks. What are you using here? Axe? Which one?
One that Rick gave me.
X25. 28-inch handle. 4.5 pound head, I believe, just like the X27. Fantastic splitting profile.
A lot easier than what
Aim's looking good too. Might just be a tough one. Some of them are. Some of these are tough for me, and I'm 240 pounds and can swing pretty good. I ain't trying to brag about myself, and some of these are pretty tough for me. It just depends on the grain of them. That sounded good. Watch the recoil too. It bouncing up, because it will hit you right in the face if you ain't careful. That's it right there. Now hit towards you. You need to stay on your line though. Tough right there.
Goodness, am I going through a knot or what?
Try a different area. Try right here. Try to take some right here. There you go. Yeah, if you keep beating on the same spot and don't do nothing, try to work your way around, because a lot of times once you get them broke down, they'll do better. I think that's just a tough round. Some of this oak, the grain in it's almost like it's very twisted instead of just straight. This one seems pretty tough that he's on right now. There you go. Be careful in this heat though. There you go. Yeah, that's a little twisted. See at the bottom down there when it gets down low how it kind of flares out.
Yeah.
A lot of these they say are butt cuts. somebody's been committing crimes.
So that one?
About to have to put them in jail.
I think it's that one right there. Yeah, that one.
Sheriff. Tough one here.
Tough one here.
Stringy wood. Very stringy, tough stuff. Oh man, we forgot our boards. Yeah, that ain't good. We may have to put rounds around the edges.
Yeah.
Probably what we'll have to do and fill the middle in. Forgot our boards.
That's never good. Dang it.
The gloves are?
Yeah.
Some of this wood's a lot tougher than others. Carter's getting some over here too. What I'm gonna have to do though, because I completely forgot to bring those little pieces of plywood that fill that in, and I'm not gonna risk wood flying down the interstate. So I'm gonna probably at least to the these fenders here. I'll probably put some rounds of wood around, back that way, and back that way, and then fill the middle in with firewood. Yeah, by the time I split it, maybe a little more. And I may even put some in the bed. So, check out Carter here.
The one I was doing earlier.
Coach Carter.
I had to put these gloves on because my hand was a little raw.
There we go. Guy gave them gloves to Sonny the other day. The one that we did that big hillside for. Sonny was talking about his hands, and that guy gave them to him. I don't ever wear those, Lord willing. Unless it's metal, sharp metal or something. That's about the only time I wear them, is if it's like real sharp metal or a bunch of thorns or something. Most of the time, I hate gloves. I get hot easy anyways, and so when I'm using them, that looks a little punky right there, that piece. Carter broke it down though. This one would be easier if you flipped it. This one, yeah. I believe. Actually, never mind. Never mind. Keep that and where it's at. Usually the fresh cut side too is, from what I've found, with at least with white oak, is easier. Accuracy really means a lot when you're doing this. There you go, see? There you go. That sounded good. See, you're accurate. There you go. See, you missed about 3 times, but it happens to everybody, especially when you get tired. But,
yeah. There.
But that will I've done it many times, but it will cause you to have to swing more than you would if you were more accurate. That just comes with practice, so. Take a break. Go take a break. In the shade. Take them gloves off, those will burn you up. That's why I don't like them, especially big leather ones.
They're helping.
All right.
This is how I gotta pull my dad off.
Go ahead now. Let's get you down. Oh, goodness.
What?
Saved yourself for me, didn't you?
Huh?
Break here.
That's when you know that he's getting serious. You already pulled out that axe.
Oh, it's hard to beat the Fiskars. Oh, the Excalibur here.
So it feels lighter after seeing that antler, doesn't it?
No, they're pretty similar in weight now. This one just had a longer handle, which I prefer myself. I like a 36-inch myself. I do. The reach, the momentum. I spoke for years about these Fiskars for a reason. I split a lot of wood with these.
I can see why.
The top one there.
It's the top one here.
This one is sitting all kind of crooked. Tough one here.
Same here.
Yeah, it's just very twisted grain there, as you see.
Yeah, that is bad, isn't it?
Huh?
That looks bad, doesn't it?
Twisted. See, I ain't messing with picking that up and tiring myself out. I'm tired enough as it is. I don't want to be picking wood up all the time. I know the way that I split is very different, but it's very efficient. It is. It's very efficient. You'd have to get a very expensive log splitter. Pretty expensive log splitter. I'm talking $10,000 and up probably to be more efficient. I mean, I would anyways, me personally. Not everybody can split like that, and I'm not saying that with bragging away, but me personally, I'd have to get a very expensive log splitter for it to be more efficient splitting. When it comes to how much firewood I split, you know, per certain amount of time. It's a tough round here. Yep. Yeah. The top one now. stringy stuff. All right, this is what I've got so far. Not much at all, but I'm making Carter quit. It's just too hot for him. Too hot. So I want him in the shade and drinking plenty. And if we have to go down to the dollar store, if we drink all this stuff, we'll get some more. But just too hot for him. He's a little boy. And he probably would try to push through it, but I'm not gonna let him. So anyways, I'm gonna keep splitting here. Plan to get this. I'll still continue to use this. That's a fantastic splitter and I love it. I do like the handle length of this better, but I like that handle better. That handle feels great. Fantastic axe. But I do like 36 better. But man, that's fantastic. Head and handle combination right there. The Adler Super Splitter. And especially after what I've done to it, because I've kind of got it very similar to the Fiskars. You can see I put my axes to work, but that's very similar to the Fiskars actually. I mean, very similar. I'll show you what I mean. See there? They're actually very similar now. That one was quite a bit beefier for it. Still, it looks to be a little beefier. It's close though. See, I'm not getting them from the same angle. Yeah, Adler's still a little beefier, but it comes to a point now a lot more like the Fiskars. And that took probably a couple hours of grinding with an angle grinder to get it that way. And then I took a lot of this pole off back here too. Just not necessary. Probably that pole was a half a pound alone, because it was like up to here or something. Just not needed. It's got plenty of weight as it is, that head, so. But you see the difference here on the handle length. The Fiskars has probably, this is a 34, but I think I ended up getting it to like 33 or something by the time I halved it. This is 36. And even that, this may be right now like 32. I can't remember what I said that was. 33 and a half or 32 and a half, something like that. It looks like this one's at least 4 inches longer though, as you see. So I like the length. I like a longer handle better myself. I do. I like a 36-inch handle. That's what I've used most of the time, and I love the reach of them. But I love the design of that handle and the wood and how it feels, everything. He did a fantastic job. I would like it more if it was longer, but that's me personally. I'd also love to have one just like that one, but wood, you know. Same, just like that, but wood and a little thinner. A little thinner than that. But the palm swell and everything I like. Anyways, let's get back to it. So this shorter stuff like this, like some of this is literally probably 6 inches, some of this, see? But I've got a guy that actually prefers stuff like that. Probably, I mean, I've ran into more than one person like that, but I've got one guy that actually wants it shorter. I've actually had caused problems for him when I've delivered him stuff that's like 18 inches before. So he likes it like 14 and below. And you know, even smaller than 14, so. This stuff will work great for him. It's all good wood, you know. Wood stove, your wood stove has a lot to do with it, or your fireplace, insert whatever you've got. So that is different with lots of people. Some people I've delivered to, I've actually had them ask me to cut the wood down, and I have done that before, but it ain't something I want to do, you know. There's enough work in this without doing more work, especially for free, because I think I did it for free. Through Light Heap one year. I'm going to use Carter's little axe a little bit here. This is the X 25 right here. This is X 25. Carter was struggling with this one. I can see why. Wow. Yeah, Carter, you would have had a bad day with this.
What?
Oh, there we go.
What, that one thing splitting?
Yeah, the edges. You need to hit the edges on it. Still a bad piece, though. There we go. What?
Are you talking about that one guy that made a wheelbarrow of wood too?
Huh?
Are you talking
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wondering.
Bill, his name's Bill.
Oh.
I talked to him today. He said to get with him next week. He may be wanting some of this next week, actually.
Oh, good. Good luck with that one stuff.
This one?
Yeah.
I see a crack. Right there.
Where do you see a crack?
See a natural crack. That's what you want to look for. See one there too.
Yeah, I see a crack.
Where's it at?
There.
Over here. See? From here. You see the difference in the 36-inch handle? You get a lot more momentum. Makes a big difference. To me, I'll pick this any day over this one, just because that handle, and that makes a huge difference. This is the X27, X25. If you had to go with one or the other, I'd definitely go with the X27. Me personally.
That's your boy.
Unless you're, a little boy or very short. Maybe a woman. So you see the difference? I was kind of having trouble with that axe. And I do believe this is true. And different woods are different, no doubt about it. But I've said this before, and I do believe this is true. And I'm not saying it in an offensive way at all, but I believe if you give a good axeman a bad axe, meaning an axe that isn't meant for, because there's some wood you can split with just about anything. I've said this a lot, and a lot of people know this, especially if you split wood. And then there's some woods that the axe really makes a difference. This white oak is one of them. You can get away with it in some of this white oak, some of the straight grain stuff. Some of this other stuff, even if you've got a fantastic axe, it's tough. So you really want a good splitting axe when you're coming into this kind of wood right here. But like I said before, you can give a good axeman a bad axe and he'll have a bad day. What I mean by bad axe is an axe that isn't meant for that job necessarily. And you can give a bad axeman a good axe and him still have a bad day because he maybe doesn't know how to pick the wood apart, where to hit the wood, how to hit the wood, how to swing very well, all of that stuff. So the right tool and then knowing how to use it is very important. So I've said before, I think the axeman is as important as the axe and the axe is as important as the axeman. I believe that. I've done jobs before to where if I didn't have the right tool, it really was a tough job. I did one recently on that hillside where I cut all that stuff down. If I would have had the right tool, that would have been a lot easier job. But I got it done, but still it would have been a lot easier with the right tool. Huh? Brush cutter for that. Would have made that a lot easier. All right, we had to come to the old dollar store and get some more to drink right down the road here from the Stave mill. Ronald told me about this place. I've never been here yet.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's right down the road from the Stave mill though, right on past it. What do you want? These. All right, these and these things. Let's go back at it. There's a hot one today. Yeah, I used to back into these. You can see these backings are tight for a truck. Like you can't get a truck turned around this parking lot, so you've either got to go that way and back in, or you've got to back in from the main road. All right, back to the mill we go. I really pay attention to them. They used to tell me watch your tandems when you're driving, and I do anyways, but I didn't understand. I knew how to drive a trailer, but I understand them a lot better now after trucking, pulling 53 footers behind me through tight cities like Chicago and stuff. Not that I did it a whole lot for a long time, but the experience I got was very valuable. But something they tell you is, wait till your tandems get, line up with the curb and then start cutting. Wait till your tandems clear the curb. If you cut before your tandems, which are your axles, clear the curb, then you'll run over the curb or whatever is there. If it's a sign or a person or whatever. So really not that complicated once you get used to it. But we're heading back to the Stave mill now. We got a little bit more hydration, and then we're gonna get back to splitting. Or I am. I'm not letting him split any more days. It's too hot for him.
Then plus the rounds that we split on the inside.
Smells like some kind of cleaning formula or something. Gotta keep your body temperature down doing this.
I'm gonna get a picture. I'm gonna get some of that cloud up there. It's pretty.
All
Alright.
right, so we're just working on filling this deal. Right now I'm working with the old Fiskars. As you see. Hot today.
Very hot.
It's tougher from the bottom for some reason. It's weird.
That is weird.
Just try to keep moving, even if it's just, not real fast. Just throw it over the rail for now. So I'm gonna pull them over there.
Easy. Back here by this wood pile. Thank you all for, thank you guys for all the kind comments. Thank you, Rick, for sending me that axe, that Fiskars. I'm really happy with it. I really like splitting with him. Thank you, Gary, for the boys axe, and I really like it. What? Coming.
All right, so taking a little break. Look at that. It goes way back that way too. I think I said earlier I was gonna show you and I forgot all about it, I think. Yeah, it goes way back there. A lot of good wood here though. Oh, be careful up here too though.
That's a big round, isn't it?
There's the trailer and truck back there. And then you've got all those rounds there. And there's a lot of good stuff in here that I prefer. I really just didn't want to dig it out, but it looks like I'm gonna have to if I want to get the longer stuff. But I've got the trailer most of the way full anyways. Let me show you these Stave. There's the tops of them. See how much drier the tops are?
It's like,
A little more gray on the top like me.
Yep.
I don't know, the sides on me are pretty gray. So there's what we got now. We've got, you know, most of the back of that field, and then we need to fill the front end. Whew. But man, that is like a sea of wood right there.
Well, there's any sharks in it.
All right, so there's what we've got so far. See here, the wood there. And then I've got these set up to go on and split. And then I've got a big one over there by the staves I'm gonna roll out and split. For now, we're blessed with a little bit of cloud cover. See the sun up there? But when that comes out, you can feel the difference. Right now, it feels so much better. So I'm gonna set this up, take advantage of this cloud cover while I can. Oh, Carter didn't know what to say to that one.
Take it down. Now get that one on the
Quiet for a minute.
Now
Watch yourself.
Get that one here.
That's it. Here comes the sun as soon as I talk about cloud cover.
Get that one.
Which one? That the super splitter is a fantastic head. Especially modified a little. All right, here's what we got. Some of these I'm still gonna split later, but this heat is brutal. And so what I'm gonna do, I got most of it split, like this back here split, and then I've got rounds around the side. Should be right at a full cord again, so it's $300 worth of wood. I've just got some here that I need to split, but I can maybe do that later this evening when it cools down some.